Welcome back to The Inspired Entrepreneur with Heather Hope. Hey there, how are you? This is Heather Hope with The Inspired Entrepreneur podcast. So let me get my bearings here and figure out what day it is. I know the actual date. Let's see. Today is, yes, happy Thursday, guys. March 11th, 2021. Okay, so if you're new here, welcome. If you are not new here, thank you so much for continuing to support my podcast, my YouTube channel, my book. But if you are new here, welcome. This podcast is a daily podcast based off of my book with the same name, The Inspired Entrepreneur. It's 366 days of inspiration for the entrepreneur. So basically law of attraction for the business owner. So let's dive into it. So today is March 11th, and I just read it as I was looking up to see what the heck is today. Today is, yes, I'm looking at my clock or my calendar, and it is, I'm recording this Wednesday night. Okay. This is what it says. Today's message is there's always another way. There are probably a million other ways. Okay, so one of the things that I truly believe in are loopholes. I think I talked about them briefly the other day. I believe there are so many ways. So I've had this belief for many years that, okay, so one of the things I always thought of was, if I want it bad enough, I will find a way to get it. It's been like a life motto for me. I don't know how, just from experience, I'm assuming. And it sounds kind of forceful. It sounds kind of not so Abraham-like, but we can reword it and reframe it. But if I want something bad enough, I will always find a way to get it. So let's soften that up a little bit. There's always another way. There's just always another way. And there will always be more ways created for you. If you have the belief that you can do something or you can have something, even if you don't know how, that's okay, right? Because law of attraction is all about getting rid of the how, like trying not to focus our attention on how in the world is this going to happen? How can this happen, right? And law of attraction teaches us that we with our limited thoughts, like as humans, we're very limited. We're, our grander perspective, our broader perspective, right, knows everything. Us, the human physical part of that, is super limited. Like, we don't have that broad perspective of everything. So we are super limited. So that's why we have to stop trying to figure out how things are going to happen, because we are so limited in our information that we can't figure it out. We just don't have it. We don't, like what we say around here all the time is, you don't know what you don't know. That's basically what it is. We don't know what we don't know. And so we're trying to figure things out with our very limited perspective. And we can't compete with the law of attraction and with the universe and with source. So, okay. So if you believe in infinite possibilities, if you believe in, like, sometimes we call it magic, like, my husband Roger will call me magical. He also calls me kind of witchy too, because things just happen and you just can't really explain it because you can't. So it seems kind of magical, seems kind of witchy, seems kind of like, okay, what the hell's going on? So you have to believe, so you have to throw the whole how out the window. You have to remember that you're limited as a human. Now you're unlimited as source, right? As a extension of source, but oh, excuse me, as you have your broader perspective, right? You're super unlimited. So you have to allow source to fill in the blanks, fill in, to bring you the loopholes, to bring you the way where, is it from the Bible? Like a door will open where there was no door, sort of thing. There's something like that, right? So it's the same stuff. So there's always another way. So if you go down a dead end thinking that you thought you were on the right path, it's okay. Another path will be shown to you. You just have to chill out though. You can't get all upset about, not too upset, and not for very long. You can have 17 seconds of being upset, but that's about it. You got to clean that up and be like, you know what? This is contrast. No biggie. No biggie. What do I want? Pivoting to, from this sucks to, okay, what is it that I want? I do this all the time. All the time. I can recover so quickly from like meltdowns very quickly because I remember, oh yeah, this is going to get me more of the crap that I don't want. So let's chill. Let's remember that life is pretty good and I have to just keep focusing on what it is I do want, and I pivot very quickly and then I feel better. I feel better because I know that the things that are like the contrast, I'm attracting contrast by some of the, vibrations that I haven't cleaned up. Now, I was listening to this one, Abraham. I've heard it. I've heard so many of these, of course, probably like you, numerous times. But, you can get so much benefit by listening to the same ones over. Like if they're coming up in your feed, Facebook, or your YouTube feed, listen to them. Or if you feel inspired to listen to it, listen to it. But there's one, I kind of want to re-listen to it again because when they're talking about like, they don't like assigning a percentage to what is done, like 97, 98, 99% of what you want is done. It's just your job to line up with it. But the lining up with it, we talk about it a lot, is the work, but really cleaning up the vibration, like doing some real deliberate cleaning up. And, I'm pretty good about, I'm really good about focusing. I'm really good about pivoting. I'm really good about continuing forward. What I do need work on is cleaning up vibration, cleaning up. So that's why I have to re-listen to it again, because it's like, it's the key. It's like the only work is to calibrate, which is not a word I use very often because I forget about it, but to calibrate to what it is you want, which I do when I focus on it, but cleaning up the vibration of the stuff that I don't want. Like there's a lot of vibration. There's a few topics in my life that cause me some stress. Like, like moments of stress. I don't feel stressed out, but I have moments of it. Like I have moments of meltdowns and moments of venting and moments of getting frustrated with things. But those things, because they're the same things, right? When the same thing keeps popping up and frustrating you or whatever, you're having contrast or having emotion around it, those are subjects to start cleaning up, like doing some deliberate writing, going general, cleaning it up. Abraham says that Esther is obsessed with cleaning up vibration. And that's not really the work that I do very often. So there's still work to be done. So, but I still meditate every day. I still do my 2021 list. I still do my money journal, which that's coming to an end in another week. And I might try something else. But I'm still doing the stuff that helps, like reducing resistance, releasing resistance. Meditation has been wonderful for that. Writing my 2021 manifestation list gets me in a certain mood, a certain energy every morning. So that's helpful. But there's definitely, there's definitely room for improvement on my end. of, taking the things that, like studying for my real estate exam. Like it's been kind of a chore and just not very energized to do it. I have lots of time to do it, and I gave myself time to do it, and then I get to do it and I'm like, this sucks, basically. So I was talking about it over dinner tonight, and then so I did some stuff, and then I got on the computer tonight right before I jumped on this podcast, and I was reviewing my last like practice exam, going through the questions and the answers and all that, and I was in a better place. After talking to Roger about some things, I'm thinking about rearranging some things because I have like this timeline. But if you feel a certain way about it, play around with the thoughts that are popping in, because thoughts have been coming to me. I did some changes today about something because it's been on my mind. And then, so I'm just following the inspiration, following the thoughts that are coming to me, following how I'm feeling about certain topics, and just kind of, walking through that and seeing what feels good. So talking through that with him, of like kind of changing up a little bit of my plans that I've, created the last few days, kind of, I think, freed up some energy. And then I, reviewed my exam, and I was in a better place. I was able to concentrate better. I was able to grasp some things that I just was, whatever. So I feel movement in that just by contemplating changing some things up. Because I think I was getting a little rigid with my schedule, with like my timetable, my timeline of things. And it just wasn't very exciting. It's like, okay, so I've got a couple weeks to do 2 exams, and that's just like boring. And I'm putting everything off until that happens. And then it's like, okay, now I don't want to do it at all. So you have to work, play around with what you're doing. If you're feeling kind of stagnant, play around with the thoughts that are coming to you. Like, what do I feel like doing? If this isn't really feeling that great or fun or exciting, what does feel like that? And even for just the moment, like just contemplating things for the moment will ease your energy, will ease your vibration around it. So, because every moment is the most important moment, like right now, right? So, whatever you can do to make yourself feel good in this moment will help your next moment. And even if you just talk about making some changes that you're thinking about, but you may not even have to do them, but just talking about them can release some resistance of like, oh, that sounds pretty good. Whether or not you actually follow through doesn't really matter so much. All that matters is how you feel in this moment now. And if you've released some resistance just by talking about like, okay, well, I'm not going to be so rigid on this. I think I'm going to do this and this because it's just coming to my mind. It's been coming to my mind the last few days. When things come to my mind, like these thoughts come to my mind, I have to pay attention and see, where they're leading me, because my plan may not be the plan. I might have just went too far ahead with my plan, as the human does. we just like go with our plan, right? And this is it, and this is how it's going to be, and I'm going to work my, work my fingers to the bone to make this happen. Well, that's tons of resistance, tons of whatever, right? Instead of like, okay, I'm just going to see how this feels. And then when you feel bogged down, then you see, okay, well, what else has been coming to my mind? Well, this has, let's play with that. You know what I mean? Like, just play each moment or each day or whatever out, a few days out, not like the next 10 years plan. Like, because you just don't know, right? We started this episode talking about our very limited perspective. We don't know. We don't have a clue what tomorrow is bringing us, right? We have no freaking clue. So we just have to go moment by moment and not try to be a human and plan everything out. And that's seriously how I've always been. Plan everything out. Everything has to be planned out. And then a couple days later, it's like, well, this sucks. I don't feel like doing this anymore because I went too far ahead. I just went way too far ahead. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go because. Have an amazing rest of your day, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Jump over to YouTube if you're listening on the podcast. If YouTube is easier for you, I know it is for me. I don't listen to podcasts at all. I don't listen to much except for Abraham and some real estate cool people, and I don't know. So, but join me over YouTube. You can actually leave me a message or leave me a comment and like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. But I appreciate all of you. Have a really great rest of your day. Feel good. Have fun. Tomorrow is Friday. Be excited. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.